It's just not. What?
I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off. I just realized that you have a green screen background.
Me?
Oh yeah, that took me a while.
The whole time I was like, what the fuck does she do for a living? What a nice place.
I was thinking that too, because I've seen your video of your actual place before. Now, I literally at the beginning was gonna be like, oh, are you like house sitting or like what's going on? Like, it's really nice. But
yeah. I just at one point like nice living room.
Yeah, I just see your beautiful background, and then Dave just has a big butthole in the back.
Yeah, I look like I'm in like a Hot Topic storage line.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome back. This is season 3 of Shooting the Breeze, and today my special guests are David Haddad and Jordan Fournier, and they run a podcast called Rabbit Hole Radio, which is a hybrid of a music show and radio show, and they're my guests today. So I don't know what we're going to talk about.
That's literally how our podcast goes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. That's all I can say. So welcome David and Jordan to the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
So tell me about this podcast, because Jordan, I don't know you. I know that you and David are cousins and you're good friends and you're very close, and you share a love of music. And David, I know you from the comedy scene in Ottawa. So how did you guys come up with the idea for Rabbit Hole Radio?
I've sort of been trying to come up with like any idea to like force Jordan to like do something kind of comedic adjacent with me. I've been sort of trying to force him into like slight comedy world ever since I got into it. And I'm not good at just being like, hey, we can have our own lives. I'm like, hey, you should do this thing that I like.
Move to Ottawa.
Yeah, move to Ottawa. So this was kind of the closest version of that. And we've tried other things before. We had an idea for a Tom Hanks podcast where we were going to watch every Tom Hanks movie and talk about them. And we kind of did it, but we didn't know what we were doing. We kind of just got too drunk every time we recorded it, and it was a mess.
Yeah, all those episodes were like 5 hours long.
Yeah, we have like 6 lost recorded episodes of those that are for no one. But yeah, so I just eventually was like, I wanted something that we could do together, and to me, like, we have a lot of fun when we just sort of like ramble on and like watch stupid stuff on the internet and talk about music. So I tried to come up with an idea where we could fuse that. So every episode we play 10 songs from independent artists that I kind of find on bandcamp.com. And then Jordan and I just sort of talk like about anything in between and watch dumb YouTube videos and just ramble and tangent. And yeah, it's pretty fun. So
like, do you guys have the same taste in music, or do you have like very like diverse?
I think so. Yeah.
We're pretty much the same taste in music. I think Jordan might agree that oh shit, I'm dropping shit over here in a sec. Jordan might agree that mine is maybe a little more open-minded than his sometimes.
Okay.
I think that a big part of the
I don't know about that.
Okay, maybe you won't agree, but something that the podcast has become, I'm realizing, which is a big part of our relationship, is me trying to show him things I think he'll like, and him being unreasonably just like defensive. So that's what I mean about the open-minded.
I think you showed me things that you know I'm not gonna like, really.
Oh, and he tries to convince you otherwise.
Maybe.
Tries to push his music on you.
At least on the podcast, that is definitely true. Sometimes I'm like, well, he's gonna hate this. This will be good entertainment. So.
It's true that would make for good entertainment, knowing that he hates this and just his reaction.
Oh yeah,
feeling his rage.
Well, yeah, I think us kind of getting mad at each other can be kind of fun sometimes. So at least for other people.
Sometimes, yeah.
Because you started this earlier this year, right? Like it's been.
Yeah, we've done 10 episodes.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah, so a couple months.
All right. You do it once a week?
Yep.
It's a weekly podcast? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so far we've been able to manage to do it every which is cool. Jordan's like actually a busy person, so it's nice that he's able to figure this out. He's got like a real job and an active band, and he's in Moncton, which is not as locked down as us. So
yeah, we're like totally.
I'm wide
down.
open with time, but Jordan, nice of him to make time.
Yeah, but I pretty much I do nothing. Like you do all the editing and find all the stuff and the bands. I just sit there and drink beers and talk.
That's pretty much true. Yeah.
What's Jordan? What's the lockdown pandemic situation in Moncton?
It's a lot better than you guys, I think.
You can do stuff and see people.
Yeah, it's like we got really lucky last summer where like there was like pretty much no COVID, like no cases ever, so we could have like a wide open summer, and it looks like it's gonna be like that again. Right now we're getting no cases pretty much, and so yeah, we have like not really any restrictions. They kind of say like try to hang out with just like the same 20 people or whatever.
20.
But like yeah, exactly.
People,
yeah.
wow.
It's pretty like non-existent. But I mean like Quebec's right there, and like Nova Scotia's right there, and they're starting to blow up. So like who knows? It only takes a couple days for it to get bad. But
yeah.
Right now we're taking advantage of it.
Oh wow. Because I have friends in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
It's crazy you say 20 people, because I don't know if we ever had that.
No, that's it was 15.
I think our max was like 5.
Yeah.
Like you can have and I don't think I've seen 20 people in like 3 months.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that, because they had it at like 15, and then they were like, you can only hang out with these 15 people, and then they were like, well, try to keep it to 20. It might even be like 25 now, I don't know, but I was like, I don't have that many friends. Like I hang out with the same like 6 people before COVID. So
I think we were like, I think for like personal thing, it was like 5, maybe 10.
Yeah.
If that much, but like the 25 was like for outdoor activities or something.
Yeah.
It's like a patio can only have 25 people on it or something.
Yeah.
I haven't been around 25 people.
Yeah. In like a year and a half. Yeah.
I'm like feral now.
Yeah. The only like I think the reason it's like that here is because we have the 2-week quarantine. So if anybody comes, like if Dave came to visit in New Brunswick, he has to stay 7 days in the hotel, take a COVID test, then he can do 7 days just like by himself in a house, and then you can hang out with people. So
I forgot that it was even like that, because I've done that already, but the hotel thing wasn't a part of it. I just
that's a new thing. Yeah,
where you were with your father at a cottage somewhere.
Yeah,
it was like
it was amazing.
I was like, really I'll quarantine there because you had good food and like beautiful scenery.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my cottage is pretty much the most ideal place to be stuck for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like
the hotel thing's kind of backfiring, because I saw in the news this week that like there's like certain hotels that like you're allowed to stay at, like federal quarantine places or whatever, and there's just an outbreak at one of them, and so somebody was like, you made me stay in this hotel.
This infected hotel.
Like if I just gone home, I wouldn't have got COVID.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's like, who can afford to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks?
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
You know, like if I had to, I'd be like, okay, I can't go because I can't pay $200 a day or whatever. I can't pay 2 weeks of hotel and food and all of that. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely deterring people from coming here. But
oh my god.
Yeah, I was walking someone's dog, like an American, I guess, who for some reason was coming here, and he was in a hotel for 2 weeks, and yeah, I mean, he seemed like he had money. Like he seemed to be like working from there and like doing good. So that's like, I think he like chose to do that. But yeah, the fact to be like forced. It was weird though, because he, on like the 4th day, he was like, man, can you please go get me cigarettes? I was like, I'm really not allowed to do that, but I'll try. And he's like, I just need some Marlboros. And I was like, I don't think we even have Marlboros.
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, yeah.
Why do you want shitty cigarettes?
Yeah, he wanted Marlboro Blacks. And I was like, all right, I'll try.
I know when I used to smoke that, like whenever I went to the States, I'd buy like Marlboro, the gold ones.
Yeah. That's what I get too. Yeah.
That's what I would smoke. You know, it's like, I'm on vacation. You know?
Yeah. They taste like shit, but
I know, but it's like, it's different. You know?
Well, shit, when we were, I don't know, we were probably like 19 or 20. Jordan and I went to the States, and on the way back, we hit up like the duty free, and Jordan bought like a big carton of these cigarettes called Sheriffs, and they were like
2 cartons.
Yeah, and they were incredibly cheap. But after he was done them, he had like a rash.
No, the whole time I was smoking them, I had this brutal chest rash like everywhere. I was like, what? Like I thought I had ringworm or something. And then right when I finished the smokes, it went away, and I was like, oh, it's the sheriff's.
Yeah, it's just the sheriff's.
That's the price you pay for a bargain, I guess.
God only knows what was in those.
Yeah, I have no idea. They tasted bad. Holy shit, they were brutal.
Cool name.
I remember I used to smoke. I think just for shits and giggles, the Gitanes.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, they're French, like French, and they came in like a little. I think they were in like a packet of 15.
Okay.
It was like smoking tar. Like you'd be like,
were they like less? Were they like less filtered or something? Maybe. Or?
I don't know, but they were shorter. They seemed shorter than like regular. They weren't king size, but they seemed a little shorter than regular. Mm-hmm. And I think if there was a filter, it was like half, like a very little filter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was just
disgusting.
Felt like smoke inhalation every single time. And I don't know why we were like, oh yeah, let's get some Gitanes. I don't know why.
It sounds cool. It sounds classy and cool.
Yeah, I guess.
But we'd just be hacking up lungs and headaches and dizzy and.
I've never smoked a normal cigarette and been like, let's turn this up a notch. Yeah. Make this a little bit worse for me.
I really want
to just inject the nicotine.
Yeah.
Really prior to that, I think like the strongest ones were like the Export A Green.
Yeah.
Where those were like hardcore, like put hair on your chest.
Yeah, they were super expensive too.
Yeah.
Some of the Export A Greens, they weren't. You weren't getting them for free. Yeah, you couldn't bum those.
I've never really been much of a smoker. Like I sort of did for a little bit, kind of on and off. But
in a porta potty one time.
Yeah, one time. All right. I mean, I wasn't really going to tell that story, but yeah,
you have to now.
Yeah, exactly. The whole thing of like getting caught and then they make you like smoke a pack so you don't ever want to do it. I kind of did that to myself by mistake. Where me and my friend, I worked at a gas station, so I just like stole us some packs of cigarettes. And then there's these like outhouses where we're from that are like, this sounds like I'm lying, but they're kind of classier outhouses. They are nice,
yeah.
They're like kind of nice.
High-end porta potties.
They're like government issued. Like they're really nice. There's a lot of room. Like when we were kids, like there'd be like 10 of us in there like drinking, just like passing a bottle around, sitting on the floor.
That's disgusting.
So one of these nights, me and my friend, we were in there doing that, but we were just chain smoking a pack of cigarettes. And we probably got through it in like 15 minutes in like an enclosed space.
Hot boxed yourselves.
Exactly. So by the time I was done, I was like sick and like felt like shit. And then I just didn't really want to do it anymore. So. Yeah. But
I make fun of you for that, but that's pretty much my jam room every Friday. So
yeah. And it just makes you want to keep smoking for some reason. So
yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I quit. What year was it? I think it's going to be like 11 or 12 years this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was hard because I tried, I think about a year before that. Mm-hmm. And I went about 8 months.
Yeah.
And I was living in Toronto at the time. And I remember the first few weeks, I remember being on the subway.
Yeah.
And there was a seat that kept like making like a tapping sound, and I was and I had to get off. I had to get off because I was like enraged. And I remember I was taking courses at Ryerson, and so I was using the gym, and I was walking on they had a track, and I tripped. And I lost my fucking mind. I tripped, and I had an MP3 player. It was like before iPods and everything. I picked it up and I smashed it.
Yeah.
And I was like kicking shit all over the place. And then I went to the locker room and I was like, I had a meltdown, complete freaking meltdown.
The first I've tried quitting a couple times. I think the longest I've gone is like a year. But yeah, like the first couple of weeks, like you get all like the shitty like rage and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're like pumped. Like after a couple months, you're like, okay, it's been like 3 months. Like I'm doing really good.
Yeah.
Like 5 months, like right on, like keep it going. And then at 6 months, you're just like, am I really never gonna smoke again?
Oh yeah. And then you're like
I really like smoking.
Well, there's this really awesome.
I went a year. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say there's this really awesome Jim Jarmusch film, Coffee and Cigarettes, and there's like a skit in it where it's Iggy Pop and Tom Waits, and they're talking about it, and there's a pack of cigarettes, and they're looking at it, and they're talking about how they both quit smoking a while ago, and then they're like, well,
now I can have one.
Yeah, now that I've quit, I can have one. So yeah, I think about that all the time. But anyway, sorry.
I love that movie.
Because I know I went to Nova Scotia at the end of it was December of 2017, so like 5 years ago, and all the people I was staying with, they all smoked. They smoked outside, but they smoked. And so when I got there, like we went from the airport to the liquor store to the house. So I'd been drinking all afternoon, and I was like I still get cravings. Like all these years later, I still get cravings, but they like come and go, but I still get them.
Yeah.
And so this particular night, like everyone had, for whatever reason, I was alone in the kitchen, and there's a pack there, and I was like, I'll just have one. So I took when I went outside. You would have thought I shot up heroin or something. One ball, everything started spinning.
Yeah.
I fell and I hit my head on the barbecue. I knocked.
Jesus.
Yeah, they had this like beautiful big barbecue. I knocked one of the burners off, and
holy
I was
shit.
just a mess. I was a mess, and I felt so disgusting.
From one puff?
I took 2 puffs, and the world went crazy. The world went crazy.
I mean,
like,
that's a pretty good sign to be like, oh, I guess we should just keep not doing this.
Yeah, we should not do this
anymore. Yeah. But then you will though. Like you'll be like, oh, that sucked. But I bet if I have one more, it'd be pretty good.
I literally took like 2 hauls of it.
Yeah.
And just everything. Like I felt sick. The room started spinning. Like I hit my head on the barbecue. And we didn't notice it was damaged till the next day when my friend was trying to cook, and he's like, what happened? I was like, I think that was me.
I might have a concussion.
Yeah, I might have a concussion and like brain damage. But yeah, and I was like, I will never smoke again, because if that's how my body's gonna react. So
exactly.
You know?
Yeah. It's like a rush of nicotine.
And I smoke in my dreams sometimes. I'm smoking in my dreams, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, thank God.
Okay, well, if we're talking about quitting, Jordan has to tell a story. We've told this on our pod, but Jordan, you have to tell your quitting smoking dream.
Oh, the dream, yeah. Yeah, okay, so I was like, I don't know, maybe like a week or 2 into quitting smoking, and I had this dream where I was like in my apartment, and I could hear the people above, like in the apartment above me, like banging and just making a bunch of noise and shit. And I had to work the next day, and I was like, man, they're just like going at it. I was like, I gotta work, like whatever, like maybe they'll be done soon, but they just kept banging. And I was like, holy fuck, like whatever. So I'm like banging on the ceiling and shit, they're not stopping. So I'm like, fuck this, like I'm going upstairs, I'm telling these people to shut up, I gotta work. I go up, and the door to their apartment's like open a little bit, and I push on it, and it opens, and it's just 2 cigarettes just banging doggy style. Like 2 human cigarettes. And they were like, hey, get the fuck out of here. It's like I woke up and I was like, man, what the fuck was that? I want to smoke so bad.
Yeah. It's like
even fucking.
It's the most dream metaphor ever. You know what I mean? You're like, what does that mean? You're like, oh, I know exactly what
exactly.
I'm heavily addicted to cigarettes.
There's no symbolism at all. It's like you need to smoke, smoke and or sex.
The only way it could have been more on the nose is if in the dream you opened the door and a cigarette was fucking you. That's the only way it could have been.
Yeah. Well, make it a little artsy.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's one of those artsy films. That's hilarious. Oh my God.
You are the cigarette, Jordan.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm not a smoker, so I don't know if I've ever had anything that I've like really had to quit that I mean, honestly, I guess I probably just should not be smoking as much weed as I do. So if I tried to quit it, I probably would have like weird withdrawals.
Yeah.
But
I would say your dependency on chicken wings is more dangerous.
oh man, yeah, that's
chicken
a
wings
really
are
good point.
though.
They are good.
I
Yeah.
know.
It's like chicken wings.
I know,
Come on.
but when I'm like in my bed with like a box of chicken wings,
Yeah.
like that's when it gets a little much. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
I'm like that with steak. I'm actually off the meat again. Like
really?
I've been off the meat for like 3 weeks because I was just like I just got a barbecue. It's nice out. And I was eating so many fucking sausages that like my heart just can't take it.
yeah.
So I just had to stop eating meat completely because I can't.
Wow.
I have no willpower.
Well, you can just barbecue like tofu, man. You can make barbecue tofu be so good.
Oh man, I've been doing like a bunch of vegetables and shit, and like I still eat
Yeah.
fish, so like that's good. Barbecue
That's
fish is
true.
good, but
Oh, barbecued corn on the cob is really good.
Oh,
That
yeah,
is
that's
fucking
really
good, yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
I'm barbecuing cauliflower. It's fucking amazing.
Oh, that'd be
Really?
good, man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Any vegetable really on the grill is amazing.
Well,
It's true.
cauliflower.
Anything barbecued is pretty good.
Yeah.
You can't really go too wrong. Cauliflower
Yeah,
is good.
exactly.
Like, I mean, people use it as like a chicken wing substitute all the time when you have like
Yeah, yeah,
stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
yeah.
I
It's
find
super
those
versatile.
great.
Yeah, I've heard. It. I
Versatile.
haven't tried it, but yeah, I've heard. But then I'm always worried if people. It's like it tastes just like. It's like usually it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah. I don't believe that.
Chicken
Like,
wing,
yeah. It's like I made pulled pork out of yams. Like, no, you didn't.
exactly. Yeah, it's like stop lying. It's like,
You made
Yeah.
yams. You put a bunch of shit on it. It tastes way different.
Yeah, you made weird yams. Like,
Yeah.
cool, I guess, but whatever.
Yeah, there's this vegan I think it's a Vietnamese place here, and they just do like pretty much all like imitation stuff, and it's like the best shit I've ever had. Like I would pick it over the real stuff, but like their pulled pork and shit is so similar that I don't really believe that it's fake. And I think it's just like a nice business plan. It's like, oh yeah, we have the best imitation meat. Like,
Yeah.
and they're like, ha ha ha. It's really
why is there so many pigs out back?
They're our pets. They're just our pets.
They're just pets.
I get a new pet every day.
I have 60 pets.
Yeah. They've been going missing.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's too
Ready?
funny. That's
Yeah, this really is like our podcast. I'm realizing.
Yeah, it is pretty much the
We
same. Yeah.
pretty much just talk about whatever. Usually talk about Jordan's bad habits and stuff like that. So far, this is pretty much on brand.
Yeah, it's a health and lifestyle podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lifestyle
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, a podcast about how we should have better health and lifestyle.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But so before you came up with like decided to do the podcast, like did it come from like was it the type of thing you're like, well, we talk about this stuff all the time, let's just do it
Pretty much, yeah.
on a podcast? Yeah.
It was honestly just like an excuse. We were just looking for an excuse to like we talk all the time, but like now it's like I don't think we've talked this like regularly since I've moved, which was like almost 7 years ago. Like we talk every
Okay.
week now, right? And like
Okay.
before,
Yeah.
it'd be, like, at least on the phone, like maybe like once a month, but like now it's like all the time, and it was like sort of an excuse to do that and just like shoot the shit. And the whole like radio show aspect of it is just sort of a way to like trick people into it not just being us talking about nothing.
Yeah, it works out for us too, because we'll do like 10 minutes of talking in between songs. And then so like there's not like as many tangents, because if we start talking about something and it's been 10 minutes, we're like, okay, let's get to a song. And then after that song, then we'll start talking about something else. So it kind of like helps us organize it a little bit.
Yeah, and while we play the song, we can be like, okay, what do we talk about next? Like it's sort of like behind the song, we'll sort of talk about stuff. So yeah, so it's kind of fun. It gives us just sort of room for it to be about anything every episode, because really the like loose framework is like, all we really promise you is that there's going to be 10 songs every episode.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the only guarantee.
With because I know when you were setting it up, you'd ask me a couple of questions and stuff like that, and I know there was a question about the music, like
Copyright.
like how is that working, and like how did you get around that?
So far, yeah, I don't know. So far, it just doesn't seem like an issue. I don't really like. I sort of think
I think it's because of the way we're doing it though, with the independent artists.
Yeah, though sometimes I find something and I'm finding stuff on Bandcamp, but like bigger bands will have stuff on Bandcamp. So sometimes I put something on and I'm like, oh, this is like a big band from the UK. I just haven't heard of them. So it's not that independent sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
So but I think because we're not making any money, I don't really think copyright would be an issue because we're not gaining anything. We're just playing music. Like I think when someone puts a band's song on YouTube, as long as they don't monetize it, they can still have the video up, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think it works in that capacity.
I'm not sure if that's true, but
I mean, that's the ignorance I'm like running under right now. I'm just like, whatever. I don't know. I'm basically just doing it until something bad happens.
Yeah.
Just like,
if we start making any type of money like somehow, then we'll start paying SoCan and then we can play whatever we want.
Yeah, there's ways to do it. And then that was sort of an issue too, where we were like, oh, like obviously it would be nice to try to work towards monetizing a podcast, but then we were like, but also we're playing other people's music and it feels weird to make money off their music. So we're sort of like, one day we might do a Patreon where there's like extra content that isn't really rooted in other people's music, and then I wouldn't feel as bad in taking money or whatever. But But yeah, so for the copyright thing, right now we're just guessing and crossing our fingers.
So far, so good.
Yeah, so far. I sort of thought with Spotify, I thought maybe they'd have an algorithm that like finds songs and takes them out or something, but that doesn't.
Yeah.
Because I know YouTube has something like that. Because
exactly.
One of the comedy shows that I do, the Lockdown Laughs, one of the performers, I think it was when DMX died. Like, had like DMX playing at the beginning.
Oh, and it flagged it?
Yeah, like in the background and everything. He just played like, I don't know, like maybe 20 seconds, not the whole thing. And he came out and he was doing his thing. And when I loaded it to YouTube, it got flagged.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, either we take the music out or you take the music out.
Yeah.
So it ended up just being muted for those 20 seconds.
Right. Yeah.
And then, so.
Yeah, that sucks, hey?
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, well, all right.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of worried about. I guess when you make that point, I was sort of considering taking the audio and making like videos to put on YouTube, like of the full episodes. But that actually, that might happen now that I.
Yeah,
So, I mean, don't really need to do that, I guess. So, whatever, but
because like it caught, like I remember not even thinking about that, and I was like, why is it flagged? And then it was like, oh yeah, he was playing, DMX, and they just muted it, that part. Fortunately, he wasn't doing his set.
His actual set.
So it just looks weird because he's like, everything to silence.
That sounds actually funnier.
because people are probably like, what's happening?
Yeah, you should probably just start doing that instead.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing I noticed is like I wasn't even as worried if the copyright. I had like this weird irrational fear that bands would get mad at us for playing their music. I don't know why.
Yeah, me too. I also felt that way.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
Yeah, well,
but
yeah. Well, but then Jordan, I think you're the one who pointed out to me. You were like, "Well, if anyone played my band's music, like I would just be grateful." So like, why?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I'm sure there's some people who might be like, "Oh, what the hell?" But I think for the most part, we were just being self-conscious weirdos, and I don't think anyone would.
And the
care.
thing is, you're promoting the music. You're not like you said earlier. You're not monetizing. You're not making money off their music, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, and
if a band ever like emails us and is like, hey, like what the fuck, you played our song on there, like I'll just slander you. I'm just gonna slander you after that.
Yeah, like, oh, you don't like free promotion? Oh, sorry.
You want a lawsuit? Okay, I'll give you I'll make it worth your while.
You can sue me, but I'm gonna be real mean to you. So.
Which only happens a little bit on our podcast. A little bit of slander.
I'm gonna go ahead and earn that lawsuit.
Yeah.
So I guess can you find it like wherever podcasts are available?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if it's on everyone, but all the main ones. I mean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, stuff like that.
Cool. That's the cool thing with Anchor. That's what I love about Anchor. Like you don't have to go putting it in a bunch of different places.
I actually had a problem with Anchor. I couldn't really figure it out for some reason. We actually use Buzzsprout.
Stupid. It's because you're stupid.
Do you use Buzzsprout?
Buzzsprout. Yeah, I was too dumb to figure out Anchor for some reason. I don't know why. It just like I wasn't able to make it really work the way I wanted to. I actually just tried to delete our Anchor the other day because it has like 3 episodes on it.
Okay.
But it like wouldn't even let me do. I don't know. I just don't get Anchor for some reason. I don't know why. So we've been using Buzzsprout, and I really like that. I find it really easy to use. So yeah. Okay. And the analytics. Do you look at the analytics? Me and Jordan are obsessed with the analytics.
No, I look at them every day.
My analytics, because I'm like, ooh, because it's like most of my listenership. Mm-hmm. 7 people are all in Canada. But the weird thing, what I found strange, is that I have a super high percent more men in their 30s listen to my podcast than women. Like, significantly.
We don't have that analytic. We don't have
we don't see that stuff.
This one, it breaks it down by countries.
And
so most it's Canada.
Countries and cities,
Yeah. And then there's one where it's by like age and gender.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it's something like, what's the percentage? It's not 50, it's like 70-30.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
really?
I'm like, really? I'm not that hot.
Yeah, we get weird ones too, where we look at him like, really, like
so many in the States.
Yeah, 2 episodes ago, we randomly, I think like 32% of the downloads were from the States, whereas every other time we might have had like 1% the States. So there was like a weird spike all of a sudden, and we don't know why, but I don't know. Whatever.
Russian bots, I think. But.
Yeah, because we don't really promote it, so I assume it's not. I don't know. I don't know if it's real.
I don't even care if it's organic.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, man, that computer wants to listen to
us right on. I'm like, 3 people listen to this episode. Yay.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, it's just like, I don't know how because Anchor, it has like what they're listening on. Mm-hmm. Like if it's an iOS device or an Android or things like that.
Yeah, we see that stuff. But yeah. It's just not. What?
I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off. I just realized that you have a green screen background.
Me?
Oh yeah, that took me a while.
The whole time I was like, what the fuck does she do for a living? What a nice place.
I was thinking that too, because I've seen your video of your actual place before. Now, I literally at the beginning was gonna be like, "Oh, are you like house sitting or like what's going on?" Like, it's really nice. But
I just at one point like nice living room.
Yeah, I just see your beautiful background, and then Dave just has a big butthole in the back.
Yeah, I look like I'm in like a Hot Topic storage locker.
Because the thing is, it's like I was surprised like how realistic the background looked. Yeah. You know, because a couple of people were like, "Oh my god, your living room is so nice." I'm like, "It's not my living room."
It really works. It really works. At one point, you moved your arm, and I saw like the little bit of glitch.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
You saw the squalor that I really live in.
Yeah. Oh man, I really want a green screen now. That's awesome.
Because the thing is, like, I'm not using a green screen right now, but I had tried to put like the backgrounds on Zoom, and it was like, you don't have a green screen. So I ordered this thing because the thing is, I'm in a spare room, but I didn't want to have a whole big contraption with the green screen.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so they have this thing that you can. It's like a big disc, a big green disc that you can attach to your chair.
Oh, okay.
It's like a peacock type of thing.
Yeah.
But unless I'm right up to the camera, it doesn't fill out the whole camera scope. So it's like you'll see it around me, but then you'll see like the actual room. So yeah. So I was like, this is stupid. I don't want to use this. But I took it off, and then ever since then, I've been able to change backgrounds.
Oh, so you have nothing behind you? It's just the room?
It's just
it's still working? Oh, really?
It's still working. So I don't know if like I initialized it with the green screen.
Yeah.
Man,
I haven't used it.
That's making me think like I want to do like a green screen thing. I wonder if you can have like your background be like a pre-recorded video. Because I'd like to have like my background just be my exact background, but then every once in a while I just like poke my head in and it's like, oh shit, you're doing
on
something.
Zoom, you can put a video. On Zoom, you can have like a live background. Yeah, that would be funny.
That's what I want. Like every once in a while, I sort of like walk into screen. I'm like, oh shit, sorry, you're doing something, and then just like walk back out.
You know what? I'm gonna try that. I'm actually gonna try that. Just have I sit down next to myself and just sit there.
Exactly.
And then you get up.
I don't like that.
Have a drink.
You don't like this idea? It scares you or something? Okay.
It does scare me, yeah. Actually, that's why it makes me very uncomfortable.
Well, I actually wanted to ask you. I know this isn't my show, but I have a question for you, Jordan. We were talking before, like Simone and I, like we said, we obviously had to get more used to Zoom stuff as comedians.
Yeah.
It's like just been sort of a part of even being able to do comedy over this whole thing. Yeah. So musicians aren't doing it as much, but like, have you because I don't think, but have you seen much like Zoom music stuff? Like,
no, it's all just live stream, like Facebook live stream. I've never seen a Zoom thing. Yeah. Fuck, I don't know.
I mean, like an acoustic guy or something, right? Could probably do. Yeah,
I guess. I mean, there was that Post Malone thing where he was doing that Nirvana cover set. Did you ever watch that? And it was I think it was Travis Barker playing drums, and they were doing it like kind of through Zoom because they weren't in the same room. Like they were all. Yeah, so that was cool. But I think you gotta have it set up. Like you couldn't use Zoom like we're using it right now for music because it would fucking lag and you wouldn't be able to do it. Well, anyway, it would sound
that's definitely an advantage of the comedy thing, right? I mean, you sort of forget. It's like, oh, we can just sort of post up and do this anywhere. Like it doesn't really matter. So
and I think it works great for comedy because or stand-up comedy at least because it's like one person talking. Yeah. Like when I was talking to my sister earlier, she said she watched a play.
Okay.
And I know the organization, but I was under the impression that they were all in like one space. Mm-hmm. You know, like the band, the cast, the crew.
Yeah.
Like doing it with no audience and like a couple of cameras recording.
Right. Yeah.
They did it on Zoom.
Really? They were doing it on Zoom. Holy shit.
So it was like, say like I'm singing and you guys are background in like your backyard or something. And she said it was horrifying. She said it was like awful.
Yeah, I can't imagine that would have gone well.
Yeah, how did they think that would work? Because I thought I was just under the impression that they were all in the same room, you know, in the same venue and performing to no one, but having it recorded, which would have made sense, you know, because I've seen stuff like that.
Yeah.
But she said no, everyone was in their own.
Yeah, if you did like table reads or something where everyone's just like reading their part and like you don't really worry about because I mean you can find videos sometimes of TV shows doing that anyway to practice, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean I bet people would pay good money if like it was just like okay, a table read of like the next Rick and Morty episode or something. Like so many people would tune into something.
Yeah, it would be awesome. I'd totally watch that.
That'd be cool. And I've done
play. I don't even know why they would have tried that. But
that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, because like
that's when you should do your pre-recorded background.
Exactly.
Try to do a play, and then it's like, what? How could this have happened?
Or you just stand behind. They can't see, you just see torso. And just stand there and people will be like, there's someone behind you. No, there isn't.
Oh, you know what I would do? What I would do in a play scenario with the background recording is you know how in plays sometimes there'll be a guy in like an all black unitard and mask to like blend in, to like move stuff in the background. I would just do that, but it wouldn't be in dark at all. So I would just be a guy in an all black spandex, like moving things in the background.
Those morphs.
Yeah, exactly.
Just moving
things that don't need to be moved at all.
Yeah, it's just more distracting because it's like a white room and a guy in a black spandex.
Yeah, it's just like putting away groceries or something.
Yeah,
that's so funny. That's so funny. But to go back to like the what you were saying, David, about the table reads, like I've like gone on Zoom, like Zoom, not shows, but say well-known comedians or like working comedians in the States where they're doing a workshop, like throwing around jokes.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I'm working on this. Can you help me? And that's been like very cool just to watch.
Yeah.
You know, to see
who's someone you saw that with, like
there's a comic in New York. her name is Liz Mealy.
Okay, yeah, I know that
And
name.
I think she's hilarious. And she did the very first one that I saw. She did it with Graham Kay.
Oh, dope! He's from here.
And yeah, he's great. Graham Kay and another comic. I can't remember his name. And it was just cool because it's like we do that. We do the same thing, you know. And it was just cool to hear how they workshop their stuff. And you know, like they each came with like one or two bits that were either they were finished but they wanted to test it.
Yeah.
With other comics before they tried it on stage, or they had like bits and pieces of something and they're like, I don't know what to do with this, or I need more tags or something like that. So it was fascinating.
That's cool.
It was really cool to see. And like we were all muted because it wasn't like a participatory thing.
Yeah.
I have a tag. Like, shut up.
Yeah,
nobody.
exactly.
Would it be like awkward to do that? Like for you guys, would you feel uncomfortable doing that in front of a bunch of people? That seems like kind of a personal thing, isn't it?
Well, what do you mean, working out jokes?
Yeah.
That's what comedy is all the time.
All the time.
That's literally what it always is.
That would just be like a dedicated amount, like a dedicated time slot of publicly working it out. Like,
okay.
Well, it's like in music, you get band practice, right?
Yeah.
Stuff. We don't have that. Every performance is practice and performance.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of forget that, Yeah, because you like, I guess you can do it in your mirror, but it's not the same. Like, you don't know.
Yeah, because you don't get the reaction.
You don't know how it's gonna land or whatever.
I can like hone a joke for weeks.
Yeah.
And go to Dave and say, oh, what do you think about this? And he could be like, oh yeah, here's a tag, or it's great, or whatever. But the ultimate test is doing it in front of people. Yeah,
it's weird. Like anytime me and Dave talk about comedy or music, like it's kind of like if you talk about comedy, all I can relate it to is like being in a band and like being a musician. But it like most things kind of are like pretty similar. But yeah, that's why I asked that, because like if I had to like try to write a song in front of a bunch of people, it'd be a fucking nightmare. Like,
well, no, okay,
because the thing is, we never do anything from, or rarely, I don't.
Yeah,
we don't do anything from scratch.
Yeah,
like that usually come with like a premise or
right,
finished thing, or
It'd be more like if you were like you wrote a song and you've only really had it for a couple of days and you're not totally sure about certain lines or certain riffs, but you're just sort of playing it in front of people anyway, which I'm sure you've done. Like, I mean,
for sure. Yeah.
I've talked about this before, but when we were in bands, so Jordan and I have been bands together since I was 15, I think. And our first show ever, which was in front of 600 people at this big, this big church. I'd never performed in front of people. I'm just the singer. I have no guitar or anything. At the last second, they were like, hey, we decided one of the songs we're going to play is this new one. And I was like, yeah, I don't have any lyrics written to this. And they were like, yeah, you'll figure it out. And I was like, this is my first time doing this. And so I had to improvise like a 2-minute song, my first time doing it in front of 600 fucking people. So anyway, I've been training for comedy my whole life is what I'm saying.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Man,
I'm getting hives just thinking about that. I'm like, oh.
If anybody tried to do that to me, I would fucking quit right there.
Oh.
Yeah. I think one of the best parts of me moving away from Moncton is a lot of my musician friends that were just instrumentalists then started having to become singers because
you were just a singer for every band.
Yeah, I was singing in everyone's band. So then I left and they were like, oh, this is like hard and stressful. And that was like, everyone used to be such an asshole to me. I'd be like, guys, like I literally don't have a voice. I can't sing tonight. They'd be like, suck it up, pussy. And like just
like, yeah, well, my fingers hurt. I'm still playing guitar.
Yeah, it's
not the same.
It's not the same.
Being a singer is a very stressful part of being in a band.
Oh man, it is really shitty.
Difficult on the throat. Like I'm the only, I cannot sing. I mean, I sing well. But like my sister can sing. My late parents were able to sing. I was the only one that couldn't sing. And like when my sister would do performances, like a run of a show would be say like for a month, and she's doing shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Wow.
Yeah.
And then they'd add a matinee on like a Sunday or something like that. And she would literally have no voice.
Yeah.
And she'd have to like not talk like during the week so that she'd have some semblance of a voice for
totally
the next performance. And it was just like, whew.
Yeah, it is stressful. You have to
I don't
plan
have
it
to worry
out.
about that. I don't have any talent, so I can
Yeah.
Well, and the type of music that like Jordan and I together make, or even like separately make, doesn't
A lot of
really,
yelling.
yeah, it doesn't really facilitate like keeping your voice like warm. You know what I mean? It's a lot of
Yeah.
like hitting your peak and then pushing it and screaming and like all
Yeah,
this like
yeah.
crazy shit. So
yeah, which is very different. Like, yeah,
oh,
that's hard
it's
to do.
very
Yeah.
easy to blow your voice out. And like
Yeah.
I never really did much. I never got to the level really where I was doing much touring, but like Jordan's band now, Diner Drugs, they do a bit of touring here and there. And like Jordan, I don't know if you have much vocal issue, but I know Jordan does sort
Well,
of
we kind of learned because like my band has two singers. Like I kind of do the clean singing, and then we have like kind of like our bassist does like mostly like screaming kind of. But like we have a lot of songs where it's like him doing most of the song and me doing backing, and then like half of the other songs are me doing like the leads and him backing me. So we kind of had to
rest.
Yeah, we kind of had to plan it out on tour. Like it was like, okay, tonight, like we'll do these songs because it's mostly me, and then tomorrow night we'll do mostly your songs, like depending on what other bands we're playing with or like what kind of show it is or whatever. So it's a lot of like planning out. But yeah, one thing like Dave was talking about being a vocalist side is it's not just the singing, it's like the lyrics too. And like he kind of like, you write some lyrics, and that to me that's the most like vulnerable point. It's not like the melodies and stuff. It's like, oh, like I don't know, like maybe they're not gonna like these lyrics, and I'll always be like self-conscious.
Personal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
personal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you think it's like really cool, and then you show somebody and they're like, yeah, okay. Then you get kind of pissed off, and you're just like, okay, I didn't realize you were a fucking poet laureate. Like, why don't you write some fucking lyrics?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like these? Oh, my bad.
I mean, again, that's a parallel to comedy, honestly.
Yeah.
It really is, like, because again, like lyrics, and I think that's why I kind of was drawn to comedy, is like something I loved in music is I put so much time and thought into my lyrics, and they were so important to me. And it just hit me one day. I was like, no one can fucking hear this shit. They don't know what I'm saying. Like, they don't care. I was like, I'm putting hours.
We still all talk about how good your lyrics are, though. Like, they're actually amazing.
But anyway, I put a lot of thought into it, and it's just like, no. And so comedy to me is like, it's like, I think maybe it's what I've always wanted, because I'm like, no, I want people to hear my fucking words and immediately connect to them. And like, so I obviously put a lot of thought into comedy too. So it works better that way. So, but it's definitely one of those things where I was like, oh yeah, I can see how I got from point A to point B. Like, it's not.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah, because
like
I don't have a background of that, but it's just like, I know, like my progression to that was just like, I would have these like scenarios in my head, like something would happen and I'd be like, oh, I wish I had said this, or I wish, in a parallel universe I would have said this, or I would have done that, or this would have happened. And so that's like not an alter ego, but that's like a persona that I take over.
Yeah, comedy's a place to like put those thoughts and energy. You're like, well, if I'm going to be thinking these things anyway, then I have a place to now say them and get them out of my body.
Exactly. And there's always for myself at least, like I'd say 95% of the jokes I do, it's from something that's happened. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's an experience that I've had, and in some cases it's like I'm telling you exactly as it happened, like it's just that fucked up exactly as it happened. And then others, for comedic purposes, like you tweak details and things like that to make it work.
I mean, on that topic, I mean, one of your kind of more current jokes you're doing right now is about being you were hate crimed on the internet, and you pretty much instantly started talking about it in comedy.
Yeah. I actually saw that one. I tuned into that show when you told that joke, and it's like, holy shit.
But the thing is, it was like, that was the only thing I felt I could do, because like when it happened, I was just like, gutted, because like the last year has just been fucked up, like on all kinds of fronts, and I've been called the N-word twice. And like,
that's fucking crazy.
Fucked up. It's like, it's crazy. So like in less than a month, like that's been hurled at me. But this was like direct, and this was like, it was just so disgusting. And I was just like, oh, like I felt really the thing is, I don't really feel vulnerable when I'm on stage. Like I feel very comfortable and I feel very at ease. And I know like I'm out there.
Yeah.
I don't think of it. I don't think of myself in a vulnerable position.
Totally.
But it was at that moment I felt like really vulnerable, and I felt powerless. I felt like all the things that a slur like that is designed to do.
Yeah.
You know, everything that it's designed to do, like cut you off at the knee sort of thing.
Totally.
And I was like, I don't like feeling like this. Like,
Yeah.
who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
who the
man,
fuck
exactly.
is you?
A connection I only really made right now is that situation was linked to your comedy, because that person saw you do comedy and then reached out through that, right? So did that make you feel, I don't know, did that at any point affect you being like, shit, am I safe doing comedy if this is attracting people like this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because like up until that moment, and the thing is, like, really, like the last year, since we haven't been performing live that much, it's been like I've been in the safety of my home. But say like the times that we've been open and we've been doing live shows and stuff like that, the only threat to my safety I would think about would be like walking back to my car.
Yeah.
You know, like it's late at night, walking back to my car, or when I get home, walking from like the parking garage to the building. That's the only time I'm thinking like, oh, you know,
watch out.
Yeah, watch out. Exactly, for my safety. But because like this was just like, it was just so fucked up. It was just so fucked up because this person, okay, I gotta go, it's like all convoluted. I gotta go back like a couple of months to like September or something. I was getting these like hang up calls at all these different hours. And the thing is, like, I don't usually answer a number that I don't recognize, or something that says like private number or block number. I usually don't answer those. And I'm like, if somebody's really trying to get a hold of me, they can leave a voicemail.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, and I'll call them back. But it was like just these hang up calls at different times of the day. And it went on for a while.
Yeah.
And then it stopped. And then it was happening like in the middle of the night, like the phone would ring at like 2 a.m. or something. And I don't remember I remember feeling more annoyed than anything else, you know, because it's like, this is just stupid, like, stop.
Yeah, he's basically harassing you at the same level as like a telemarketer at that point.
Exactly. And so then I guess this happened, I think this incident happened about a month and a half ago. And I remember it was a Saturday night, and I was home because we were locked down. And I was up late, and I don't know what I was doing. I was on the computer or something, and the phone rang. I remember it was like 5 to 1 on like Saturday, so like say technically Sunday morning. And I was like, nobody I know is going to be calling me at 1 a.m. I'm not answering. So it rang, then it stopped. And the person called back 3 times and then sent a text message. Jesus. And I was like, and he's like, hey. I'm like, who is this? Sort of thing. I was like, I've got nothing to do. Like, let's.
What's up?
What's up? Exactly. I was like, who is this? And then he said something along the lines of, we met on Tinder. And David knows I hate dating apps. Like I don't dating apps. Like I do them very, and so I was like, that didn't sit well, because it's like anybody that I've met on a dating app who would have gotten my phone number. I would
remember them.
Exactly. I remember them. I'd at least have their name and their number on the phone, so I know, okay, don't answer the phone.
So like Johnny Tinder or whatever.
Johnny asshole Tinder sort of thing. Donnie,
it sounds like you don't do a whole lot of drunk Tindering.
Which is good. That's good.
That is good.
Delete numbers. And then I'd get like somebody calling me back, and I'd be like, oh, I didn't want to talk to you anyway. So I was like, it just didn't sit well with me. And he's like, yeah, we matched on Tinder a year ago. And I remember thinking, no, that can't be. And I'm like, I don't remember you. Like, what's your name? And he gave me some like Glenn McDonald. And I'm like, I definitely don't. And
That's not a name.
That's not a name. That's not a real name.
That's such a good fake Canadian name.
Yeah. Nobody names their kid Glenn.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't remember you. I don't remember you, sort of thing. And then he was like, oh, something like I was like, did we meet? And he was like, we were supposed to, but then I chickened out and this, that, the other. And I was like, I remember thinking, well, I don't remember that. And then I just left it alone. And then he came back and he's like, what's the biggest you ever had? I was like, are you fucking kidding me like this? And then I blocked the number. And I was just like, this is weird. This is some, some crackpot. And I'm not even thinking it's related to comedy at this point. I'm thinking it's some weirdo from Tinder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I blocked the number, thought nothing of it. And then Sunday into Monday, so like say technically Monday night, the phone wakes me up at like 3 a.m. and I'm like, something said it's that guy from last night. Didn't answer. The same pattern, like 2 phone calls and then a text message. And the text message was, you fat nigger whore.
Oh my God.
Because I didn't answer his call.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, and I was just
It's a red flag for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I want to date you now. I really want you now.
Oh,
you got
you're
me
edgy.
going. I want you now. You said the magic words.
Yeah. I also do want to say that like his initial question of like, what's the biggest you ever had? I like the idea of you being like, I don't know, 11 inches, and him being like, oh, never mind.
Oh.
Could you deal with 5? It's the average. Like, why'd you ask me?
They've adjusted the average
on the slide. So 3 a.m. this is the message I get from this fucker, and I was just like, oh crazy. Wow, yeah, like you don't get your way, and like the first thing you do is like hurl insults at me. Sort of thing. And
not even just insults, like
that's the nice guy thing. Like I'm a nice guy, but you're being a bitch.
He tried pulling that.
I'm a nice guy and you're just being a bitch. That's
really
what it is.
Well, he tried doing like, I was just drunk. I would never say that if I wasn't drunk, right? Didn't he say something
because
like
the thing is, like, I was so upset. Like I didn't go back to sleep because I was just like, what the fuck? And so I was thinking about it, and then in the morning I was like, I really should call the police. I should contact the police about this. But then I was like, oh, at that point I was like, defund the police, fuck the police.
Exactly.
I was all like, fuck the police. But then I was like, I don't even know who this person is. Like,
I mean, it could become, he's calling you all the time too.
Say
like,
what? Call the police and say what? Some random guy sort of thing. But then I thought about it and I was like, that's a hate crime. A hate incident, as the police put it. And so I filed a report. I filed a police report.
Good.
And I posted it. I was like,
you went very public, and it was awesome.
I went super public because I was like,
that's awesome. Yeah.
I was like, no, bitch, you are not getting away with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not good. Because the thing is, I knew that whoever he is, he's following me somehow.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he was, because he saw it on my Instagram, and then he started blowing up my phone with messages, and I posted them all. He was like, it was me who did this, and I'm so sorry, I was drunk. And basically, like, he did not take any responsibility for it. He basically said, because I rejected him twice, that this flew out of his mouth, and it's like, that's not in my vocabulary. Yes, it is.
I never got the I was just drunk thing. It's like, just so you know, if we date, if I get drunk, I'm gonna hit you a little bit. But it's just because I'm drunk. It's just because I'm drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
The only time just because I'm drunk should apply is when you like pissed your pants or something.
Yes, exactly. You fell down the stairs. It was because you're drunk. That's
it doesn't warrant a doctor's appointment.
You shouldn't be. It doesn't apply to when you're pissing your pants and yelling the N-word. It doesn't really fly in that situation.
Exactly. And the thing, like, I went public with him because I was like, I was scared. I was scared because I was
absolutely.
this person knows who I am, because in
And
the
they're
text
clearly
message,
crazy.
in the text, because remember I was saying like the whole Tinder thing didn't make sense because I'm not a dating app person. I hate dating apps. And I think I was on Tinder for like 20 minutes and I was like, fuck this. No. And so when he found out that I had filed a police report and he contacted me, he was like, I didn't meet you on Tinder. He's like, I was at a show. He didn't say where. He was like, I saw you at a show last year. He's like, I thought you were really beautiful. But I was too intimidated to talk to you. Mm-hmm. So I crank called you for a while.
And then I got racist.
Yeah. And then I decided, and then he's like, I decided I wanted to talk to you. And he's like, you didn't want to talk to me and it pissed me off. And he said, I tried to call you again. You wouldn't answer my call. And that's why I said what I said.
That's
he's like, but I'm a good person. I'm a nice guy. No, you're not. No, you're not. If that's the first thing you go to when you don't get your way, you're not a nice person. You're not.
Yeah, I was too intimidated to talk to you, but I was very comfortable being anonymously like
yeah, exactly. Anonymously like stalking you. Yeah. So it was just fucked up. And so
look, I know I sound racist, but I always put my change in the Ronald McDonald's Kids Foundation.
Exactly. I'm a good
McDonald's. So fucking date me.
Pretty much. But I was so scared. And the thing is, like, I wanted to make it public because I was like, this guy knows who I am. He knows me on site. I don't know who he is. He could have been like standing behind me at the grocery store and I wouldn't know. So I was like,
super creepy. Yeah,
it was very creepy. And I was like, if I disappear or I end up in a ditch, and I also have a joke about that, which isn't so funny now. I had a kidnapping joke. Like, if I go missing, don't put my real weight, use my goal weight. And I was like, shit, we might have to do that. But I was like thinking, like, if something happens to me, if I disappear or I show up dead in a ditch somewhere.
You need
this like look for this person.
Remember that big police report I filed?
Oh my god. And he was like, oh, can you take back the report? I'll never do it again. I have a job. I have this. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you should have thought about that before you called me a fat nigger whore,
Totally.
Consequences, bitch. But
you're not on Call of Duty.
YouTube comment.
It's like he just like it got him scared. And the thing is, it's like I gave the police everything. Like, a police officer called me. I filed a report online. And then I got like a temporary police report number. Mm-hmm. And then when if they approve your complaint, you get a permanent number and then like a follow-up with a police officer. And I was like, please take this seriously. And they did. So I got a permanent police record, not police record, a permanent police report number. And then a lieutenant called me from Ottawa Police Services, and he was so nice to me. And he was like, I'm really sorry all of this happened to you. And he was like, tell me exactly what happened. Because I had like detailed and everything. And he's like, tell me. And then so I told him everything, and he was like, well, how did he find out that you filed a police report? I said, because I posted it on Instagram and Facebook and maybe Twitter and TikTok. I don't know. I did it on Instagram and
MySpace,
Facebook. YouTube, MySpace, Friendster.
Christian Mingle.
So he was like, you shouldn't have done that. And you need to take that stuff down.
Oh,
and
why?
I was like, why? And he just said, like, he said something like privacy issues and safety, like a safety.
What about your privacy and safety?
I was like, exactly. I said that. I said, I'm glad he knows. I said, I'm glad he knows that
I could understand them maybe thinking that it would kind of push this guy to be like even more aggressive or something like that.
Maybe, but I don't know, because to me, I think a good thing about what happened with you posting is that guy got to see then basically an entire community get behind you.
Yeah, that's true too.
Fuck this guy.
That's the other side of that,
because everybody was like, what the fuck? Like we all were like, that's fuck. And like everyone, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think people were pretty supportive and behind you on that, right? So
definitely. And
who wouldn't be?
No, I guess.
Because the thing is,
what kind of monster is in support of that?
I think he's right.
I guess. What am I really trying to say? Where I'm just like, I think our community is really special because we actually don't like racism. So
and the thing is, like, stuff like that, like I always felt, because the intent of that is to injure, right?
Exactly.
And so I was already so upset, and I already felt like so isolated that I was in my head, I was like, I almost felt like, well, no one's gonna defend me, no one's gonna be on my side, sort of thing. No one's gonna like protect me, sort of thing. I just had that thing. So when I posted it, and I had so many like messages and so just I got so much support. Like
people sent you flowers. Someone sent you flowers.
Oh, nice.
Somebody sent me flowers and like, stay fierce, bitch, or whatever. I'm like, I don't talk like that, but thank you. People were like super supportive. Somebody sent me flowers, and like it was really nice, and like just the messages and stuff like that. And then like I remember just sitting in that and being like, okay, like I've got the support of like my comedy community, which is like everything to me. And then like my like just all the different communities around me like surrounded me, and I had people coming up and saying like, if you find out who this guy is, let me know.
That's it,
just make it look like an accident, sort of thing. So like I had a lot of that, but I was still sitting with this disgusting feeling. Like just feeling very like violated and vulnerable and all these horrible things. And I was like, how do I get out of that? Like, how do I stop that? And almost like this was, I don't even think it was 24 hours later, I wrote the bit. And then I think it was like a few days after that, because I think we were still open, because the first time I performed it was at Yuck Yucks.
I saw a video with the logging,
and that was I think at the end of the week or a couple of days later or something like that. And it was just so, I didn't realize how cathartic and how
helps you work through it, kind of.
Like it gave me my power back, because I remember on actually it was on, I think it was that fundraiser we did, David, with Jen Hayward.
Yes, that was great.
And I think that was the first time I had performed it like
fleshed out
and everything. And David sent me a message. He was like, that was fucking awesome.
Nice.
Good for you. Like, I'm so glad you did that, And like I felt like I got my power back, because the thing is like when I was on, because in normal life, I'm like, I think I'm awkward. I think I'm weird, and I'm quiet and everything. But on stage, I feel confident. And I'm happy, and I'm like, I feel strong on the stage. And for like a brief moment, I didn't feel that anymore, and I was afraid, and that gave it back to me, sort of thing. And I've modified it, because I actually say the full word now. Where at the beginning I said N-word because I was like, I don't want to say it, it's too ugly and blah 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 blah. And then a few like seasoned comics of color were like, say it. Don't protect him by saying N-word. Say it.
That's true, right? Yeah.
Like,
why should he get to say it?
Feel that discomfort.
It also, exactly. It gives the intensity and discomfort, and then when you get to the joke, the levity is like even higher now, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. So totally.
Because every time, because I think I started saying the full word about 2 weeks ago, I think.
Okay.
And I remember I was nervous. To say it because it's an ugly word. It's a disgusting word. And when I said it, like you could hear a pin drop and you'd hear like, and like, and then I say the punchline and then it's just like, everyone's like, oh, thank God. You know? Oh, thank God. You know? It's like, okay, we can laugh now. Like, thank God. You know, but it was really, really, it was really cathartic. And even though I knew that, you know, just from some of the like the bits and stuff that I've written like over the past year and a half, I knew that, you know, you can work stuff out and you can give yourself like the perfect scenario in a situation. Like it that really hit home for me when that horrible thing happened to me and I took it and like turned it around and like threw it back in his face. Or
well, that's it, eh? Like turning that negative into a positive for yourself.
Yeah, you know,
absolutely.
And,
I mean, I've never dealt with anything like that intense, but like in comedy, I haven't really gotten to the point where I've really been super cathartic yet. I guess like my closest thing would have been like I'm bisexual, and like I used to talk about it in my act a lot. And when I was doing that, it was literally because I was like processing, like having like started telling people that, you know what I mean? So like the first time I ever even talked about it was on stage, because I had all these jokes that were like, my friend is bisexual, and then like I was like, yeah, I had like and then I was on a show where two people before me were doing jokes and they were like, I'm bisexual and blah blah blah, and then I was like, well, I feel real dumb if I'm just like my friend,
kind of faking it.
Yeah, so then that was the first time I ever said it, and then it kind of encouraged me to start like telling people more and like getting into those conversations more. So again, not nearly as an intense of a situation, but like that was maybe my comedy catharsis, where it was like I was like, even the jokes I was writing was helping me like understand my situation more. They were kind of happening at the same time, so it was it's cool how comedy can do that, and music can too. I mean, I use lyrics to get over shit all the time. Most of the songs I write are usually me trying to like deal with something and like work it through. So
how did it feel? How did it feel when you started coming back home and doing those jokes here? Because it was like you just met all these people in Ottawa and stuff, so it must have been a little easier there than coming here and people you grew up with, like just kind of dropping the bomb like that.
Yeah, because I think it's a different story, like coming out to people you've only known for a couple of years versus coming out to like your family and lifelong friends and stuff like that.
I sometimes think if I hadn't moved away, I would never have come out.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, I don't know that.
Yeah. It would have been probably different though. It would have been a different experience.
Yeah, it's just not
taken longer or something.
Yeah. I mean, at least before I moved, it just wasn't the environment that like really facilitated like, I don't know, being comfortable with something like that necessarily.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you come somewhere like Ottawa, and it's like, you know, it's a bigger city. There's like, it's just more open. There's like multiculturalism, way more than we have in Moncton. There's like the people are more like sexually, like just having more like sexually open conversations and stuff like that. So I just started
more adventurous.
Yeah, a little more adventurous.
We're all just like, okay, get on the bed.
Yeah.
Assume the position.
Oh, this is a good start.
Well, I think
I'm ready.
when I first moved here, I think within like the first year, I messaged Jordan. I was like, yeah, I was at a party last night, and it kind of just turned into a bunch of people being naked at a party. And Jordan was like, man, Ottawa is
Invite
weird.
Me next time. Oh my God. I want to go.
Yeah, anytime he told me like any like weird party you were at, or like
I never go to parties.
Just all these different things you were doing. I'm just like, man, Ottawa.
But to answer your question, Jordan, it was like weird because like I had like an act where like a big chunk of it was about that stuff and about sexuality, and like it was working, and I liked it, and I liked doing it, and it was really working. And then, to go home and be like, okay, I've told some people, like I've told Jordan, I've told like a handful of people, but I'm still going to be on stage in front of a bunch of people I've known my whole life. And this is how I'm going to tell them. And it's weird for sure. Like I had a buddy, a very good buddy of ours who was actually in our band. We were like, me and him were walking to the club, because he actually got me the spot because he was working at the club as a bartender. And I had just been in town, and I didn't pack very well, so I didn't have a belt. So I was wearing my mom's belt, and it was like a leathery belt with kind of like flower patterns all over it. And I was just like,
piece.
I guess. I was just like talking to him, and I was just like, yeah, I got my mom's belt. And he's just like, oh man, I can give you a better belt than that if you don't want to wear that. I was like, oh, I'm fine with it. And he's like, oh, I really don't like seeing you in that belt. And I was like, huh. And if you don't like that, you're gonna be in for a surprise tonight. And then that's how I told him. I was like,
I've been wearing my mom's belt my whole life.
At least half the time. But yeah, so that was when I told him. I was like, well, if that makes you uncomfortable, I got some news for you, buddy. And he was really cool about it. His main question was do I find him attractive? Which was like, go fuck yourself. That's not what this is about.
No.
That's what I said. I was like, you're not my type. I'm sorry. And he seemed genuinely hurt. I was like, okay. I'm kind of trying to find myself right now. This isn't really about you.
It's not about you, yeah.
This is not about you.
Yeah.
God.
I don't really do that stuff in my act anymore because it doesn't I like talking about the catharsis thing. I don't like need that as much anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of a side note now. Like,
yeah, I don't really care. Like it started feeling almost like too much of my identity as a comedian, like queer comic, and I really didn't want that. I mean, it got me some of my first paying gigs. The first time I ever made substantial money was like through queer comedy.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
And then I was just like, yeah, I mean, I'd rather be a comedian who is queer rather than a queer comedian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That's like me too. I'd rather be like a comic who's a woman or a comic who is black than like black.
Instead of being like
exactly. Because I've had people tell me, oh, you only got that because you're black, or you only got that because you're a woman. Yeah. And it's like, no, like,
I mean,
unless
it's the black woman's show, which they do happen.
Yeah, okay, yeah. If it's a black woman show, then yeah, I'm a shoo-in. You know what I mean? But I've had.
You have the criteria.
Yeah, I've got the criteria. I meet the criteria.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are quick to like diminish your abilities or diminish your talent sometimes.
Well, you know what I think it is, and I think this goes in, you probably know this in the music scene too, Jordan, because this was maybe more when we were younger, but I think people, their reaction, what's really happening is they're saying, why didn't I get that? So then what they're trying to do is hyper focus on why you did and they didn't.
That's it. Yeah.
And I think that happens in music too. I know when we were in high school, it is much more of a high school band thing where you get really jealous because you're like, you want every opportunity, and then someone gets a different opportunity. And it's like, you're just not meant for every opportunity. That's just how it is in anything.
Like, oh, well, they just got that because they know this person. Like, no, this is because you fucking get drunk every band practice and
you're not getting any
band sucks. Yeah.
So, like, every opportunity that I've received, they're like a bunch that I didn't. You know what I mean? It's and like I've had to just like ignore stuff. Like, fortunately, like that only happened like early on. Mm-hmm. Where people thought like, well, she's only been doing this for like 5 months, like why?
Well, you popped up really quick, right? Like which was good. It's good. That's a good thing, but that does invite those mentalities.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an important thing though, having like failures, like probably as a comedian as well as a musician, like you kind of have to have that, so that like if everything goes right and then you have like one big failure, like you're really looking forward to a big show or something like that, and you don't get it, then you're just like, oh, well, I'm a complete piece of shit, I guess. And I'm just gonna stop doing this.
Oh my God, like if we thought like that, we'd be like devastated, like
exactly. You need to, it's important to learn how to get through failures and be like, okay, well, the next one will be better or whatever. Like,
that for whatever reason I wasn't ready, or it's not,
exactly.
I don't fit the,
because that's what also if there is a reason that you didn't get it, then you're gonna like pick through your mind and be like, well, I guess I could do this better, like maybe I did that, like I was kind of lazy on that thing, and
it'd be a learning.
Like, I don't know how I don't know if it's the same with comedy, but
no, it definitely is. It definitely is. I mean, I think it's in any art discipline. It's just like you learn from your strengths and you learn from your weaknesses, and you kind of find a way to mesh them together, I guess, into something.
I mean, I guess you guys would get it even worse because like everybody bombs, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if I play a bad show, everyone's like, yeah, that was awesome, like that's cool. I was like, no, I fucked everything up, but like they'll still cheer.
Yeah.
You guys have a bad joke, people just turn fucking
difference.
brutal.
It's like
yeah.
And the thing is, it's very
you can feel
public.
It,
It's very public, and it's very Yeah.
Oh man, that's why I won't do it, because I couldn't take it. I don't think I could take it. One bomb, I'd be like, man.
That honestly is fair, because I say this all the time. I do truly believe that Jordan could be a comedian, as far as being a funny person with funny stories, who I think could write them into funny stories. But you literally just need to be able to put up with the bomb. And if you don't have that, then you won't.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could.
It's gonna be difficult.
Maybe not.
Even seeing a bomb is just like, oh man.
Oh yeah, no, it's
uncomfortable.
stomach, because, especially like it's somebody that you like. Say with us, it's somebody that you know is good, like somebody you know kills.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know that like the crowd doesn't get them or whatever it is, and it's painful. Like just thinking about it, I'm like, you know. Because it happens, and it's like, it's unfortunate. Like I wish no one had to bomb, and I wish bombs weren't so public.
It also becomes almost like, I don't know, it's almost like a relief sometimes. Like when you see those nights where it's like, because some people will say, they're like, it's never the audience fault. Like you should be able to win the back. And like, there is an element to that, but that's sort of horseshit sometimes, because sometimes there just is. I've seen the best comedians that we know.
Sometimes it's just the vibe in the audience.
The bad room, eh?
They're not feeling anything.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's scary, but it's also almost like a relief, because like it just means that sometimes there's just nothing you can do. It's like,
I guess, eh? Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not you.
You could be as prepared and as you could be like freaking hilarious. And sometimes they're just not gonna want to laugh. They're just not gonna.
I mean, people are right. There is like that next level comic who will be able to find something in whatever situation like that. But that's such a skill. Like I'm sure we all have the ability to get there. But when people are like, it's always your fault if you bomb, it's like, well, that's not really helpful right now. Like I
don't need to hear that message.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like I'm trying to learn. Like if anything, it's I like kind of like. I find it better to almost like give in to the fact that it's going to happen sometimes, because then it's just like that allows me to not be like broken down and not like continue on. So
exactly.
Probably the bad shows you're playing Jeff Dunham would just kill.
Like,
do you have any puppets?
Take off my sock.
Where are your puppets?
You know what? It's funny you say that.
I like the Grampy puppet.
It's funny you say that, because one of my favorite comedians, Chad Daniels, I heard a story one time of him opening for Jeff Dunham, and it wasn't like he was bombing. So then he was like, oh fuck, I guess I know what you guys like. And he took off his shoe and his sock, and he put his sock on his hand and started pouring beer into his sock and doing like dumb jokes, and they just started booing him, and then he got kicked off the tour.
Nice. Man, Chad Daniels is the fucking
hilarious.
shit. Holy shit.
He's really funny. He's just such an asshole. He's just like, he won't take shit. So he's like, yeah,
that's such a dick move.
Oh my god. Because like I know with with myself, I'd wanted to do it since I was 15.
Yeah.
But I was too scared. I was too scared. And when I finally did it, I was 52. You know, so I was like, I wasted a lot of time being afraid. I wasted a lot of time going, you know, oh, I can't do that. Like, what if somebody heckles me? What if somebody and I got to a point, well, it's just like a whole bunch of things happened. Like I lost my mom and all sorts of things. And I was like, I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired of not doing things because I'm worried of what other people would think and stuff like that. That I was like, let me just try it and get it out of my system, sort of thing. But then I was like, I love this. And so I just barreled through. You know, I just like kept working, like trying to get as many. Actually, the very first, my very first set was a warm crowd. It was all friends and family. So like that's very unrealistic. Because they're gonna laugh at everything and they're gonna praise you anyway because it's all friends and family.
I didn't invite anyone for like 3 months. I didn't invite a single person I knew for 3 months.
Oh really?
I was like, I want to know that I want to be able to earn it from strangers first, and then
that makes sense.
Bring your family in.
It was like, otherwise I can't trust the statistics. Otherwise, you know what I mean? I was just like,
because the thing is, I knew that it would have been skewed, but like I had like. I know when I had thought about, like when I was living in Toronto and I was thinking about it, but kept chickening out, I was like, I don't want anybody there. I don't want anyone I know there. But then this time I was like, I want everybody there just because I put it off for so long and I was so excited. And, you know, I was like, I finally found something that like, I felt good at and I felt comfortable doing. So I had like 20 people there.
That's awesome.
And I'd only been in Ottawa maybe like 8 months at that point. So it's like the people I'd become friendly with, I was like, hey, I'm doing this thing. You want to come? They're like, sure. So I had like 4 tables of people. Awesome. But like the very first like real show that I did was Swizzles. David put me on. It was the very first time I did it like in front of like real people.
And
I bombed. I think I froze. I froze. I forgot my set.
Well, the thing about Swizzles, a Swizzle show can really go either way. Like sometimes that room can be like the warmest room. Sometimes it's like, all right, we're learning tonight. Like it's so that's what I kind of like about it. It's not an easy room.
I love Swizzles. I love performing there. I think I have a soft spot because that was like the very first thing when I went into the like the OCC of its spot. And then I got the I got you. So it has a very soft, like a very warm space for me. But like David said, it's like hot and cold. Like I've seen it on fire, and then I've seen it like dead. You know. And
I've always wanted to go to that bar. I don't think I've ever been there when I visited you. But
no, you haven't been there when you're here. But I'm definitely bringing it next time you're in town.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good time.
Because this has been like a shit ton of fun. Like this was
this was fun.
A lot of fun, and like come back anytime you want to come back on.
Absolutely.
Shit. You know, we just shoot the shit. Like
do we still get to answer the hypothetical questions at the end?
Oh yeah. Okay, let's do that.
I don't know about this. So.
I have a bunch of questions. I think, David, when you were on the last time, I think I had only like 62 questions. Now I have 250.
Okay. Jesus. Okay.
So,
for sure.
Okay. So with these crazy questions, like how do you each want to choose a number, or do you want to have the same number? And
I want us to have the same questions. I'd like to have the same questions.
Okay. So what we can do is like, each of you picks a number and you both answer the corresponding corresponding question.
Yeah, we're not doing 250 questions.
No. We might do maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
It's not going to be 200.
I was ready, but
he's like, hit me.
Jordan, you can go first. Pick a number, Jordan.
Between what?
Between 1 and 2.
Like out of 250?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I pick 88.
88. Okay. So number 88 says, would you rather be reincarnated as a fly or just cease to exist after you die?
Oh my God, that's deep.
I know, yeah, some of them are pretty deep. Some are silly, but this one's pretty deep. If you want to pick one,
I think I picked the fly.
You'd pick the fly?
No. I think I picked the fly because I would think of the person I hated the most in my past life, and I would just go bug the shit out of them because it's so hard to kill a fly. I think I'd be really good at zigging around. Like you wouldn't really get me.
Yeah. The thing I don't like about being a fly is that I feel like you have like an uncontrollable junkie urge for shit. Like
that's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, I don't want to be hovering around shit.
Like I feel like you can't even.
But you would want to if you were a fly, so it's fine.
No, I really feel like flies are like, oh man, I need some of that shit. I know I shouldn't, but like I think it's like a weird. It's just
yank 'em.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, and I personally the non-existent, like that's what I think happens when you die. I don't think it's real.
Yeah.
I think it's just sort of like a blink out, and then you're.
I actually do believe in reincarnation.
Yeah, you think that's what? I believe in reincarnation.
To a certain extent, kind of. Like I think all your fucking atoms go into something.
Exactly. I think your energy gets redistributed. I don't think it goes all into like one cat.
I don't think you become another person. I think you become a fucking tree or something like.
Yeah, or a bunch of trees. Or like part of you is now a tree, part of you is the rain. Like I don't know. I think
scientifically, it makes sense. That's what would happen. But
so. I wouldn't pick, so I'd pick the non-existence. I wouldn't pick the fly because I think I would be addicted to shit, and that just seems weird. I already have such.
Hey, be a fly with your boy.
All right, if Jordan would be a fly, I guess I'd be a fly.
Be a fly too.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Okay, so I'll pick one then.
Okay.
You did 88. I'll do 44.
44.
Yeah.
Okay, 44. Would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak?
Read, for sure. For sure, I'd lose the ability to read.
I barely read.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that one for sure I'd lose the ability to read because if I couldn't, I mean, I don't know if anyone's noticed this listening to this, but I can't shut the fuck up. Like I need to be able to talk. It'd be crazy.
I've read like 4 books since high school, I think.
Yeah. Also, if you met a mute who was just like obsessed with reading, I feel like that'd be like a really weird guy.
Yeah, that was licking your lips and.
Yeah, exactly.
To read all that literature and stuff and not be able to talk about it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
To do that.
Jesus. I think it would drive someone insane.
Yeah, you'd be reading about how to make a bomb.
It's the only way I can show
all about that.
Stuff.
Yeah, it's the only way I can
need to express myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I just say this isn't one of the questions or maybe it is one of the questions, but that just made me think of the would you rather of like would you rather be blind or deaf? Yeah. Which I have that conversation with people all the time, so I'd like to hear from either of you. I personally would choose blind for sure.
Me too. Yeah.
You'd rather be
personally
rather not see but be able to hear?
Yes, I think so, because I just think I'd still be able to interact with things like better in the world. And again, like I'm so into music and like comedy, and I know there's ways you can still like take those things in, but I think I would, I don't know. And also, me and Jordan make this joke all the time. We're both good enough musicians that as soon as we became blind, we'd instantly be like famous bluesmen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I just love Ray Charles. So.
Yeah. It'd be so easy to transition into famous, like being a moderately good musician, but now you're a blind good musician. It's a whole different thing.
Whole other echelon.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like you could still paint and sell it, and they'd be like, "This guy didn't even know what it looked like."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it looks like shit. $1 million.
I think I would choose blind as well.
Yeah.
I just have to take off my glasses and I'm practically blind.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But yeah, I think because at least because the thing is like I know one or two not blind people. I know some blind people, but I know some deaf people, and I used to work with a woman, and if she couldn't see her mouth or something, she was lost. Yeah. You know, and I can't imagine that not being able to hear and not being it's just
I know a couple
of deaf people, but she would have like these different things in her car that so
lip reading's crazy because I knew a couple deaf people, and like I'd be talking to them and she would just be like, "You have to trim your fucking mustache." I can't
wearing a mask must like
fuck, it's so that's true too. I never even thought of that.
Yeah, because even myself, if somebody like only now, like a year in, can I understand people talking through a mask? But at the beginning, I was like, "This is my life now. I'm not going to understand a word anyone's saying." But I think I'd rather retain hearing, because if you can't hear, your speech is affected as well.
Exactly. I think it's probably like, I think maybe it's an entertainer thing too. I think all three of us are probably like, well, it'd be way easier to just figure out still being an entertainer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
As a blind person than as a deaf person.
If you're a painter or something, or like a director or something like that, you're definitely
something where you need the visual.
You're gonna pick deaf.
Yeah. Wow.
Totally.
Yeah, it's a tough. I hope to lose neither.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do another one.
Yeah. I pick 249.
249. Okay.
Scroll.
249. I've been praying for someone to answer this question.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, it says, what do you do when a baby just stares at you in public? Like, doesn't even blink, just maintains intense, aggressive eye contact with their dumb baby face. What do you do? What do you do in this situation?
I'd flip it off.
You flip it off? That never happens to you? Babies stare at me constantly. I don't know why. Every baby I meet stares at me for so long, and I love it.
Really?
Intense though. It is aggressive and intense.
But
you're just like,
yeah, I do the exact same thing though. I literally just fucking stare at them. Yeah, I've been at a IHOP actually recently, and I was like so zoned in because this kid would not fucking let up. I was so zoned in. I was just fucking like staring at him, and then I don't know how long I was doing it, but I just looked, and the father was doing the same thing to me.
The baby staring at you, you're staring at the baby. And
yeah, and I kind of like looked at him, and I was like, "Oh, the baby."
Yeah. Like, oh, I went too far.
Like, yeah, no, we all do it.
Yeah,
we're the Finnegans.
Well, see, Jordan, you have like nephews and shit, so you have like a rapport with children, kind of. Like, I feel fucking awkward with kids. I do not get along with them kids. Really. They don't like. Well, Jordan. So me and Jordan used to live in his older brother's basement, and his two nephews used to like be like, "I have nightmares about David." It's just like they just don't like. It's just something happens where we don't connect.
Funny. Yeah, and one time my brother came down and he was just like, "So David hasn't been very nice to my kids in their dreams." Can you like figure out what he's doing? Or?
You know what's funny about that? I'm a dick to everyone. My dream representation of myself, whenever someone has a dream about me,
dick.
I'm always a dick. I don't know why. It's not my fault. I don't know what that guy's doing.
I'm always very weak. Just like,
weak and frail.
You're always being like fucked by a cigarette or something.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Getting reamed by a cigarette.
Oh God.
Do you guys want to do one more?
Yeah, sure. We'll do one more.
Even it out.
Yeah. Okay. 2. Let's do 2.
Number 2.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you not do for $5 million?
Ooh.
Mm.
Oh man, I have such little dignity. I do almost anything.
There's not a lot I wouldn't do for $5,000.
Yeah, exactly. $500, really.
$50.
A ride.
I'll do it for free.
What wouldn't I do? I mean, I don't know, kill myself because I don't get the money. Is that an answer?
Oh, that's a very smart answer. Yeah.
I wouldn't kill myself for money because that would be very short-sighted of me. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I mean, I would almost need like a list of like the top 100 grossest things you could do, and then like narrow it down. I mean, there's not a lot of poop stuff I would do. Like, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, nothing with poop. I wouldn't do anything with poop.
For $5 million?
You know what? You're right.
You're right.
Well, let me put it this way. There's the list of things I would not do for $5 million is short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty short.
That's pretty
like
much
it would stop short of like killing someone.
Yeah.
Like murder, I wouldn't. Well, it depends on who it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
If it's Buddy there, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. If it's my stalker, maybe.
You're gonna pay me to do what I want to do anyways. I would not join the band Fish for $5 million.
You wouldn't join the band Fish? Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, it would be more for me. I think it would be more like food related. Like, I don't know, just a certain. I just wouldn't want to eat certain things. Like, yeah.
Okay, what's the food you hate the most? You wouldn't eat for $5 million. You wouldn't have like, well, I don't know, whatever your food is. Like, I don't like pickles and mustard and stuff, but I'd eat like a vat of that for $5 million.
I hate semen.
Because like I don't like cucumbers and pickles and stuff. But if it was $5 million, I'd eat this jar of pickles. I would eat it. But if it was like $5 million, eat that pile of shit. No.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would eat shit so fast. Oh, I get staph infection, whatever infections you get from that. I don't care.
It was like
have $5 million to pay off the doctors.
I would take the shit for $5 million. I don't think I would eat. I don't think I would eat it. I don't know.
Oh man.
I don't.
So I hate to break it to you, but I don't think anyone's paying anybody to poop. I don't know if that's like a high market.
If I was the guy with the $5 million, you'd be doing some poop stuff. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you could have.
But I think
I'd be like,
like I think I could say how I wouldn't do that because it's like hypothetical. But I think if it was real, I'd be like, it's $5 million though.
You just get Joe Rogan yelling at you.
He's like, is it gonna make me sick? Am I gonna die? Am I gonna get some weird disease from it? If not,
Yeah, but
maybe a taste, maybe just a taste.
Yeah.
I won't eat the whole. Don't make me eat the whole pile. Maybe just like
only 1 teaspoon of poop.
You know what I'm realizing is the last time I was on this show, near the end, I started talking about poop. I'm realizing.
Did you?
Yeah. Our podcast always ends up talking about poop too. So,
So again, it's a
poop
very
is
good promotion.
funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't care.
Funny.
It is funny.
Just
Possibly delicious. Who knows?
I'll never know unless it's the right price. So.
Yeah. It's true because I think we all have a price.
Yes, absolutely.
Mine is way lower.
Yeah,
than your guys'.
$5 million would be hard to turn down.
Jordan, what's the grossest thing you've done for money? I bet you've been bet to do dumb, gross shit for money. Like, what have you done for like not much money? Can you think of anything?
Well, it's usually eating things off the ground.
Yeah, that's classic.
I drank out of a puddle once.
A puddle? When? When did you do that?
I forget where and what happened, but it was $5. I know that. And it was like I was gonna eat something off the ground for $5. Like, well, why don't you drink this off the ground? And somebody poured coffee into a puddle or something, and I'm pretty sure I did it. I don't know.
I really hope this was like 10 years ago and not like a month
last
ago.
week.
Yeah.
Right before this call.
Me too, because I don't remember.
But yeah, you probably have like weird like puddle damage in your brain or whatever.
Yeah. Puddle damage. Motor oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty stupid.
Oh my god. Well, thank you so much, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
This was so
it
much
was fun.
Really fun.
And yeah, come back anytime. Let me
sure,
know. Come back anytime. We might do it live next time, which will be
that'd be fun, yeah. Right on.
But yeah, anytime you guys want to come back, let me know and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. This was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
virtually.
Too. It was great meeting you. Great meeting
David,
you.
you look great.
Hey, thanks. You both look great.
Glad you like my living room. And I'm actually I'm gonna try and record
you gotta play with it.
With me like peeking in or just sitting or something. I've gotta that's my new project because I think
if you ever need a cameo, I'll try to Photoshop myself in there.
Yeah.
Or what would be even funnier is like I do it and I send it to you and you use it.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Or somebody else just like
I really like that.
Awesome.
So thank you so much. This was a blast. I it
was a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care. Stay safe. Okay.
See you guys.
Bye.